Alrighty, this is the skull lab practical, and there's nobody in the room. Okay. All right. So we got the Okay. So we got the frontal bone right here, the parietal bone right here. We got the temporal bone, which is this lower area right here. And then the occipital bone, which is this back bone, the back side of the head. And then we got the coronal suture, which is the front line right here. And we got the sagittal suture, which is this one. And then we got the squamous suture, which is this line right here. And then we got the lambdoid suture, which is this back line in the back of the head. And then we have the nasal bone, which is this bone right here. And then we got the maxilla bone, which is above like the teeth, this bone right here. Then we have the mandible bone, which is this lower part of like the jaw right here. And then we got the mental foramen, which is like kind of where this dot is, like the middle part of this lower bone. And then the mandibular ramus is this middle part of this bone right here. And then we've got the mandibular notch, which is this kind of where this little circle is. Kind of where the circle is right here. Look at that. The little circle. And then the mandibular condyle, that's this bone part right here. And then the coronoid process of the mandibule is this shape right here. And then the zygomatic bone is this bone right here. And the sphenoid bone is that's like a bone it's kind of in the eye towards the back. It's kind of like this area right here. If you look in the inside, sphenoid bone. And then you got the ethmoid bone. That's kind of in the eye again, but it's kind of more towards the nose in this area. And then the lacrimal bone, which is kind of still sort of in the eye, but kind of in the lower portion. And then we got the superior orbital fissure, which is towards like the back of the eye. Then we've got the vomer bone, which it's kind of the lower portion of the little line in the nose, but it's like the lower part of it. And then the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone it's kind of like the upper portion of that same bone. And then the middle and inferior conch is kind of the lower part right here kind of up under the vomer bone. And then the anterior nasal spine is this little pointy bone right here. And then the external auditory meatus is this this little hole near the zygomatic bone. It's like this little hole right here. And then the glabella is right here. It's like in the middle of like the eye sockets. And then the greater and lesser wing of the sphenoid bone. These are like the little wings. If you look inside the skull on each side. And then the optic foramen is, it's like this little like the little line in here in the skull. And then the foramen rotundum is, if you look like this, it's towards right here. It's like the little hole right there. And then the foramen ovale, it's like in the like the middle right here. The little holes. And then the foramen lacrum is right there. It's like a regular size hole, but it's kind of more towards the inside. And then the foramen spinosum is like the little tiny hole that's close to the other ones. And then the jugular foramen, it's like the little holes like right here. And the palatine bone is this bone right here, kind of tucked away behind like the teeth and stuff. And then the foramen magnum is the hole that's like in the center. And then the mastoid process is like this bone right here. And then the styloid process is this pointier bone that's right there. It's a little bit more skinnier. And then the cristae galli is, it's this little pointy thing kind of in the center when you look inside the skull. And then the internal auditory meatus is, it's like the little hole that's inside the skull right there.